children doing stage 3 of a performance assessment. Stage 1 was creating a list of qualities they wanted to have in a leader. They're pretending to be President Thomas Jefferson. Louisiana Purchase has just occurred, and they have to select someone to lead a group to go explore the new territory. So the first thing they did was create a list of what qualities they wanted in a leader and qualities they didn't. Stage 2, which they did for the last 2 days, was to look through some resumes of possible applicants. They had to read the resume and see if what they did told them something about that person. Were they brave? What in the resume told you that they were brave? And if this person was a good fit to be a leader. So what you're seeing today, for the most part, with most of the students, is stage 3, where they're going to write a speech. As president, they have to announce who's going to be the leader and the reasoning why you want this person to be the leader. And at the same time, the reason why the other people didn't qualify to be their leader. One of the standards we're working with is developing writing for an appropriate audience. They have to take first-person point of view of Thomas Jefferson and create a speech.
I chose leader 7 because he's strong, skilled, and intelligent. I chose these qualities because we need a strong leader to do the heavy lifting,
and you need an intelligent leader so he can make traps for animals to eat when they can't for the night.
Another standard we're working on is just the standard about grammar and appropriate sentence structure and writing. And the last standard we're working on is using text to support their answer. The students have to go through the resumes that we created and use that as their evidence to support their thesis statement. I chose leader 7 because he is brave. Then you need to tell me why you need a brave person to lead you. Why would you want that kind of person as your leader? That's the first thing you need to talk about. That comes from task 1. When you were deciding what qualities you wanted in a leader, you said, I want a leader who's brave, and you told me why. All the information from part 1 of your paragraph is coming from task 1. Then, after you tell me why you want that quality in a leader, you need to tell me how you know the person you chose has that quality. How do you know leader 1 is brave? How do you know leader 3 is brave? You have to go back to those resumes and use those resumes as evidence. Josh wanted to say it one way, Keith wanted to say it another way, Jameer wanted to say it another way, and it's just getting them to put all their ideas down on paper. They kind of wanted to cover certain things first instead of doing it in order, and sometimes they just have to find the middle ground, the happy medium between all their ideas, and that's still a little bit of a struggle for kids, and at any level is compromise.
We.
No, I. Why don't you just pretend to be the president, and then they're your helpers? And then when Arliani has an example, then she gets to be president, and you are her helpers, all right? Could you put that somewhere else, like strong? Because doesn't that say a lot about your character, that you were strong enough to stay with your best friend? You didn't like abandon him and leave him?
Brave, smart, strong.
So that's going to be your thesis. So I chose leader 6 because he's because he's a he. Brave,
comma,
smart, comma, strong. Good use of
So right
commas.
Isn't it comma and strong?
Comma, that's what she said. Brave, comma, smart, comma, and strong. Well, with this performance assessment, they have to complete every task before moving on to the next task. And as they complete the task, you can kind of assess, do they understand what they're doing? Do they understand what they should be doing? And you can do small little assessments along the way. If they're not completing the first task, they can't move on to the second one. And then I can help those kids that are still struggling with the first task and get them through wherever their pitfalls are. Then when I move them on to the next task, I can assess how are they understanding it. And if they're not, I can give them small little mini lessons. Since they're working in groups, I have more of an opportunity to work in a small group setting, and I can get to know my kids a little bit better. Because as they're working in groups, I can assess this child knows this skill, but this one doesn't, so I can pull them aside and reteach the skills that they're missing. This school is a very high poverty school. So as a teacher, I've had to grow and develop new strategies to find ways to make them more accountable and to find ways to get them to want to be accountable. Because if they don't see that there's a value in what they're learning, then they won't learn it. If they see there's a value and a reason to learn it, they will want to learn it. The final assessment will be their final speech. We are still going to bring in another task, a technology task, where they have to tell what if they could Google this person back in 1803, what more information would they want to have to make sure that they made the right choice. So integrating that technology piece in allows me to assess, did they understand this person? Do they understand what they want in a leader? And then can they express it in words? You have those kids that are still very shy and are scared that they don't have the right answer. And with the Illinois Learning Standards, what we have to get kids used to is that there's more than one right answer. They're so used to the old way where it's 2 + 2 is 4, and we have to teach them that there's another way to get to 4. 1 + 3, 4 + 0. And even though your idea is different, it doesn't have to be wrong just because it's different. It can still be a right answer as long as you explain your reasoning. And that's a whole other world for kids because they're so used to, if it's not this answer out of the textbook, it's wrong. And retraining the kids to understand that with the Illinois Learning Standards, there's more than one way to solve the problem. There's more than one answer. And you can use evidence in different ways. It doesn't have to be the same exact way.